I could never tell with the delay. Never could tell what time these are on. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We got a serious video today, but I do believe that it has a good message, and I want to start this before I get into the stories about food crisis, the coming food crisis that is brewing. When you know something is coming, you should have zero fear. Now, you can use fear as a motivator that if you don't do something about it, you're going to be caught up as a part of it, whatever it is, whether it be a tsunami that's headed your way and you're just sitting there like an idiot. And we've seen tons of videos of those, just people just sitting there. "Grr." And I mean, the ocean recedes out and people just walk out there and this is great. This is where the ocean used to be. And I'm out here just walking around. It used to be 10 feet right here. And you have no clue. These people are just complete idiots. And like, well, hey, buddy, why don't you walk away real quick? Because there used to be water there and there's a reason. And it's probably going to come flooding back. A perfect analogy for economic cycles. But hey, we have that happening. We've seen people like staring at big waves. Look at those big waves. They're coming, and they just get pummeled by them rather than walking up to high ground. All right. So what I'm going to talk to you about, I don't want to hear anybody freaking out. You should use fear as a motivator. That's what I did a long time ago when I got emergency food. I started buying precious metals, getting ready for harder economic times. And then what happened is I was really early. And then I had all this stuff set aside. And I'm like, well, crap, now I can start businesses and go crush it. And that's what happened. And so what I'm about to share with you is serious. But you cannot have fear when you have knowledge. Knowledge destroys fear. Okay? I want to start this video with that. Now, I've had a handful of people email me. I was actually going to cover this story, but I saw your emails and I'm listening. So here we go. I'm also going to do my best. I will crush it in explaining why this is happening to Tyson Foods. All right. And why it's a big deal. All right. This first off came from Glenn. He sent me a news story out of Fox 16, and it's entitled Tyson Foods Announces North Little Rock Plant Closure. It says here, officials with Tyson Foods have announced that the company will soon close several facilities, including a North Little Rock plant, several facilities. This is just in their hometown. That's why they're covering it. A company spokesperson said that the plant will permanently close October 7th. Really interesting timing, isn't it? This fall. Announcement comes as the poultry processing plant released their third quarter 2023 results. We're about to get into that. They say, after careful consideration, we made the difficult decision to permanently close the North Little Rock, Arkansas plant on or about October 7th, 2023, and move the work performed in the plant to other facilities. The spokesperson said, while the decision was not easy, it reflects our broader strategy to strengthen our poultry business. Let me stop there and say, let me know if you guys remember, I remember me reporting on all of those cattle farms that were getting decimated by fires. They were getting just tens of thousands, actually it ended up being hundreds of thousands of cattle dead last year. And then I spoke about all of the chicken facilities where the bird flu ran through. Regardless if you believe it's real or not, the one thing that's real, millions and millions of chickens dead. That's less producing chickens and less meat chickens. This happened a year ago as well. So now we have another wave. So I want to be careful when I explain this, but let me ask you this. Do you believe, type 1 if you believe, that throughout history, businessmen and women doing nefarious acts have done nefarious acts in order to build their own business up. I'll give you an example. They would come out with bad press about their competitor. That's why rich people actually tend to own newspapers, just so you know. William Randolph Hearst, one of the richest men in the country, right, before he died, owned media. And not a lot of people realize that. Even one of our people, gentlemen, richest person in our area, he owned the local newspaper because he wanted to put out positive things about his construction company. And if there was anybody attacking him, the bad stuff went their way. Another thing that governments do is they, throughout the past, and I believe this to be true, type 1 if you believe this to be true, and type 2 if you think I'm a nutball, I don't care. I believe that governments, like through the formation of groups like the FDA, have come out with bad press on certain things to bolster their opinions and their thoughts so that people will line up and follow them. All right. All right. So let's go in a little bit deeper. It says the company officials also said that employees receiving benefits will not see a change and will be paid for any earned and unused vacation throughout the termination date. Employees remain employed through the plant closing date will receive a retention bonus of $1,000 because the last thing they need is a bunch of people leaving them early before they officially have that closed down, and they have to pull in a bunch of employees. Now, Scott emailed me 3 different articles about Tyson Foods. One out of Yahoo, Tyson Foods sales hit by slowing demand. And then let's see here. Tyson Foods has shut down 4 more U.S. chicken plants. That's out of Reuters. And then another one about them closing the 4 chicken plants. So let's dive into the actual numbers of Tyson. And then I'm going to explain why this is a big deal for your bottom line and for, honestly, I'm not going to say survival, but your way of life. All right. Enjoy your coffee. Tyson Foods plunges. This is out of Zero Hedge as earnings fall short amid waning meat demand. Now, also, I want to remind you, this is in a world where the elites are trying to get you off of protein, good protein that God created for your body. And I can tell you, after I went on the carnivore diet for a little bit, and I've got to get back on it, it is amazing. All right. It does so much to your mind, clears up your thoughts. It does a lot to your sleeping habits. It's amazing. They don't want that. They want you in panic mode all the time, and they want you eating plants. Now, there are Bible verses I've talked about, plant eaters, and that they are weak-minded. Can't make this up. It's in the Bible. And that the meat eaters are strong-minded. And I want you to take this to heart. And that is what is going on behind the scenes. They do not want you eating meat. Okay, so you got to start looking at, and this is what I would do, because there's 2 events coming, and this is the inflation destroyed our business model. So they're closing down, and you're going to have less meat processing plants here pretty soon. So I say you store up food, you go get yourself a chest freezer, you start to learn how to dehydrate, freeze, can, get back to the basics, right? Have food storage. And then what you do is, since the apocalypse hasn't happened yet, you just eat through those food stores and then build them up. And you like, look, I've got a constant 6 months to 1 year supply of food. When things go down and people are losing their minds and hyperinflation setting in, I'm now eating that food storage, but I'm constantly rotating because you don't know when this is going to happen. This is common sense, easy directions to follow. Okay. All right. It says Tyson Foods, the world's largest processor of chicken, beef, and pork. So we ain't talking about something small. We're talking about the world's largest. Tumbled Monday morning in New York after it reported earnings per share, adjusted earnings per share for the third quarter that missed the average analyst estimate. It said adjusted earnings per share were 15 cents versus $1.94 year over year. The estimate was 26 cents. So you look, they've went from $1.94 to 15 cents. They were expecting to go from $1.94 to 26 cents. And even that horrible, drastic drop on a year-over-year basis wasn't enough. The company fell even further. I mean, wow. It's absolutely mind-boggling. The loss per share, $1.18 versus an earnings per share of $2.07 a year ago. Think about that. They lost $1.18 versus gained $2 year over year. Horrible. Says sales of 13.4 billion, which were down 2.6% year over year. The estimate was 13.59, so they barely made it under that. So let's talk about the different segments and why it's such a big deal. The third quarter sales declined due to weakening demand compared to the same quarter last year. Now, what you're going to see is more. I haven't read this story yet. People, because of inflation, are choosing lower cut grades of beef and then not even eating beef. Some people are going to cheaper meats like chicken and pork. All right. This is simply because they do not have enough money. They have to stretch their dollar as far as they can. Type I am if you're one of those people that are having to go to the store and grab as many coupons as you can, even though there's fewer and fewer deals out there these days, trying to stretch your dollar. There are so many people, like 95% of the public, Even the upper middle class I'm seeing, they're going to stores that they normally wouldn't shop at. They're leaving the high-end retail boutique grocery stores. They're going to the cheaper stores. That's why dollar stores, even though it's it's like a con because of the size of the packaging, the ingredients, all that kind of stuff, you see more people diving into that because they think they're saving money when they really aren't. Third quarter sale volumes reveal customers ditched beef and pork for less expensive chicken. I should read. I don't even read these stories before I talk to you guys. This is a quote or a tweet out of Zero Hedge's channel. The real great rotation from beef and pork to chicken. This is out of Tyson Foods Q3 or third quarter earnings. Beef sales volume are down 5.3% versus the estimated negative 2%. So over double that, well over double. Pork sales were down 1.8% versus an estimated positive 1.5 because they thought more people would move from beef into pork, but that's not the case. So many people move from beef right down into chicken. It says chicken sales volume are up 2.1% versus a negative 2.1. So there is your proof right there. People do not have the money to go and buy any type of meat they want. Now, I'm really big on using the sales, the coupons. I love loss leaders. I love it when a store like Albertsons goes, we're not going to make a dime on our ribeyes this week or lamb or anything. I go in, I buy that stuff up. We need to understand how important it is to keep beef in our diet. There's a lot of studies out there, and there's a reason why the elite want you to believe in cow farts, hurting the environment, and all kinds of bad stuff. Animals with multiple stomachs that digest the greens on the earth to pull in the nutrients, the minerals, and the vitamins and process it into the meat is very, very important. Okay. I look at people that literally think that a gelatinous glob of goo in the form of a turkey is a good idea. I think those people have lost their minds. All right. And those are not people I associate myself with. They would not be good business partners. I'm not even joking. Tofurkey, I think, is one of the most evil, weirdest, stupid, dumbest, moronic things I've ever heard in my life. It says here, there also appears to be a reduction in prepared food sales, such as items found in the frozen food section at supermarkets. It says sales volume, beef sales volume. Oh, I already read through those. Sorry. It goes through the different segments and all that stuff, but it says here's the 9-month highlights that showed sales are flat. Sales of 39 million were flat from the prior year. GAAP operating income, and just so you know what GAAP means, it stands for, that acronym stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. A little fun side note. GAAP accounting is how all companies in the country that file with the IRS have to conform under. However, the federal government does not need to follow GAAP accounting principles. Okay? Again, GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. The government does not need to do that. They can lie to you and fake numbers. I know it sounds crazy. Fun little fact. GAAP operating income of 68 million is down 98% in just the last year. Okay, you are witnessing a catastrophe right now in our food system. Because let's say you don't like Tyson. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like Tyson. Here, type 5 if you don't like Tyson. Type 6 if you like the corporation Tyson. I'm just curious to see what you guys say. It doesn't really matter what you think because they're the biggest. They got big by taking over small mom and pop shops. These are the days where we need to fight back by starting mom and pop shops again. And the problem is we're now coming against this behemoth of the federal government. If you understand how big of a deal this is, hit the thumbs up button. Let's see if we can get this to 1,500 thumbs up right now, because we need to wake people up. Because the behemoth of the FDA and the federal government trying to stop you from starting your own little farm is immense, and it is very, very serious. But how do we fight it? We do. We start the shops. We overcome. Right now, there's chat forums and groups. Even on Facebook, you can probably find groups of small farming communities, farmers that are willing to come together and learn from each other, file the paperwork right, get this stuff going, and overcome this system. Because this system, the world system of food, is imploding right now. And if you don't get ready for this, I don't care how much money you have. Understand this. I don't care how many dollars you got in the bank. You're not going to be able to go use it for all those foreclosures. Because two things, you need food in your belly, and you also need peace of mind. And you do not have your peace of mind unless you are prepared. That is why I've used that slogan ever since I started this channel: be prepared, not scared. You can't concentrate on crushing it in real estate, buying up cars and flipping those cars and side hustles, if you're worried about where is your family going to eat its next meal or how much it's going to cost. All right? Now, not everybody is in that situation, but I'm going to be honest. I believe that a majority, upwards of 90% of our population right now is in that situation. This is very, very serious. But again, going back to the beginning statements of this video, because a lot of people jumped on right now, and thank you to the 100 people that just hit the thumbs up. Knowledge destroys fear. I don't want to hear anybody sitting there, oh, this is doom and gloom, you're scaring me. I'm telling you ahead of time, because now that Tyson's closing down plants, just so you know, mom and pop shops are not going to immediately pop up with new chicken areas, raising chickens to raise for eggs or for meat. A bunch of farms aren't going to pop up tomorrow now that Tyson's closed operations, right? Because I get it. There's a certain population that are eating canned beans right now. But once they're closed, it takes a long time to get them opened up again and operational. They don't just happen overnight. So there is issues that people need to be aware of. To think that the largest meat producer in this country, sales are down 98% in 1 year is staggering. Adjusted operating income of $697 million is down 81%. The GAAP earnings per share of 56 cents is down 108% from the prior year. Adjusted earnings per share of 97 cents are down 86% prior from the year. This is a bloodbath right now. And I'm going to tell you what, this is the big boy on the block. That means other companies right now are watching them and going, oh, crap, if they're having trouble, and we already know we're having trouble, it is going to become more dire for them. And there are a lot of companies that are going to pull the cord and they're going to close down earlier than they thought of, because they're always sitting there going, okay, everything's fine, everything's fine. But when they see the big boy on the block getting destroyed and closing plants, they're going, okay, all right, we got to face the piper. But again, I think this is the greatest opportunity in modern history for the small-time farmer to awaken in you. The small-time rancher to awaken in you. You want to talk about a side hustle, feed people. You'll always have business. And right now, before it gets shut down, there are groups all over the internet helping each other. And there are groups that are attracting buyers of your product. I know it's hard. Trust me. For putting a fruit stand in my county, I know how hard it was. I had that side hustle too. But you have to do it. We've got to fight. If anything, it gives you more of a peace inside if you've got some property to go, you know what, I'm going to set up that chicken coop. I'm going to set that up. You know what, maybe I've got enough, I got a couple acres. Why not throw a steer out there for slaughter? And I can slaughter it, and then I can sell off some of it to my friends, right? Just a friendship deal. I know, because the government wants to get involved in that too. So my point being is that not everybody is in this situation. But I remember what it was like every dime going, saving and preparing. I remember storing up my food, and I've still got my food storage, because it's just common sense. Because there's a day where this crash will get so bad it'll overtake all of our finances. It's not going to matter. But you want to have certain finances set aside that you don't have to tap into, because when the whole nation goes into this situation, assets are going to implode and they're going to be worth pennies on the dollar. And you want to go be picking those up while people are mocking you. And actually, quite frankly, you won't be talking about it. So I hope you all get something from this, because it's a big deal. The big boy is going down, Tyson Foods, and it's going to have ripple effects going into this fall and winter that will be seen, and we will be reporting on it. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Economic Ninja is out.